Hey everybody, thanks for clicking that thumbnail and coming to check out the most ridiculous Scream 7 theory you've ever heard. And your boy came up with it. Okay, so Joel McHale is cast as Mark Evans, not Mark Kincaid from Scream 3. This has been confirmed, and I know what you're thinking. Clicking that thumbnail, we got Stu Macher and Mark Evans. That is not a very crazy theory, and it's not very ridiculous at all. But what if Joel's character, Mark Evans, is actually Stu Macher? All right, so hear me out here. What if Stu actually survived the events from the first film and got plastic surgery? And before you say anything like, this is the most ridiculous, absurd theory to date, like, I know it is, but hear me out, because if Hollywood actually did this, one, I would be crazy impressed that they actually did something different. And two, it would take the Scream franchise to a whole nother level. Now, if you're not familiar with the early 2000s, there was this reality TV show that was really controversial called The Swan. And it was where people would, sign up to be on the show and they would get this insane, amazing plastic surgery, at the time. And it completely transformed how they looked. So that's kind of what gave me this theory. For some reason, I thought about that show the other day. And then I was talking to my friend Brad, and we always talk about movies. And I was like, what if Sydney's husband is actually Stu Macher? Because Stu Macher survived and had like a whole bunch of plastic surgery. Wouldn't that be crazy? And he's like, yeah, man, that would actually be like a really great twist. I'm on board with that. So let's talk about some of these things that we 100% know are certain. Matthew Lillard is Stu Macher, and he's back in this movie, and Joel McHale is playing Mark Evans, not Mark Kincaid, and that means we have a brand new character. And what happens in the Scream movies when we have a brand new character? That means they're a suspect.
Well, if I'm a suspect, you're a suspect.
And I'm not going to lie. A couple months ago when I heard that Joel McHale was going to be in this movie and he was going to be playing Sydney's husband, Mark, I was flippin' irritated. I thought he was going to be a direct replacement for Patrick Dempsey, and I personally loved how Scream 3 ended, and as we all know, it ends with what should have been the real core four. Sydney, Dewey, Gale, and Mark Kincaid having a movie night. And it was a really great ending. Sydney doesn't set the alarm. She leaves the door unlocked. Then the door opens. And then she just walks away without a care in the world because she's showing the audience she finally had overcome her fear and paranoia of Ghostface and being killed. Killed. I don't know why I said it like that. And now we're going to flash forward to present time where this Scream 7 theory is taking place. So we now know that Mark Evans is a brand new character and he is not a replacement for Patrick Dempsey. And I'm fine with that, and this is why. Go ahead and name one Scream movie where Ghostface ends up being a character who we all thought died in a previous film, but actually survived and came back as a whole new character because of plastic surgery. Go ahead. I'll wait. You can't. It's never been done before. It would be a first, and I don't know about you, but I am tired of the big reveal being mad family members. It's been done not once, not twice, not even 3 times, but 4 times. And to anyone who disagrees, that's fine, but doing that kind of reveal, 4 times to me, it just seems like super lazy writing. And you know what? I don't care. I think it's dumb, and it drives me nuts. Tons of people I talk to drives them nuts, but, whatever. So why this theory could actually happen and how it could be pulled off is what makes it interesting. Matthew Lillard is approximately 6 feet, 3 or 4 inches, 6'3", 6'4", and he weighs around like 180 pounds. And Joel McHale is approximately 6'4", weighing around 200-something pounds. So, you can see where I'm going with this. They basically have the same height and build. Their facial structure is similar enough to pass off, someone getting plastic surgery and looking totally different. And let's just speculate here for a second. If Stu Macher's parents had enough money for a house that cost something around like $2 or $3 million, they could have very well likely had friends in high places. Maybe they had some friends that were cops or judges or some politicians even to help them cover everything up. Maybe they had friends that could take a surviving Stu Macher and put him and the rest of the family into hiding while his face healed from getting plastic surgery. Think about it. We never actually found out what his parents did for a living or who they were or where they moved away to. All we really know is that they sold that house to Amber's parents in Scream 5. The original movie takes place in 1996. A lot can happen in 30 years. New identities, new lives, and plenty of time to transform yourself into a whole new person. This theory, ridiculous as it is, could happen. Now, if you didn't know this, the original script for Scream 3 had Stu orchestrating like a Ghostface cult from prison to kill kids from high school, but that was scrapped because of what happened at Columbine. And that happened in 1999. Scream 3 came out in 2000. I get why they didn't do that. I kind of wish they would have, just pushed off filming and stuff, because that was a really great idea. But anyways, think of it this way. Imagine if they went back to that original plot, but instead of Stu Macher being in prison and, orchestrating the Ghostface cult, what if he actually spent some time in a mental institution as part of a deal his parents made with whoever they know that's high up? And that's where he meets Ethan Embry's character. A lot of people are saying Ethan Embry's character is going to be an escaped mental patient. So that actually, that works out really perfect. And I know what you're thinking. Why would Stu go to such great lengths to do all of this? It's simple. Stu wants revenge, and he wants to prove he wasn't just some dumb accomplice, and he is determined to be the one and only ultimate Ghostface that finally takes Sidney Prescott down. But he wouldn't be able to do that without, plastic surgery, because then Sidney or anybody that Sidney knows is going to, be like, yo, Stu Macher's here with scars all over his face. He's probably coming to kill you. So, Now let's talk about some things that we actually don't know for certain. Did Stu Macher actually die? I honestly believe when they made the original Scream movie that their plan was to kill him off. But because the movie did so well, they started making sequels and they decided to bring him back. Kevin Williamson said Matt re-recorded his lines for this movie and posted a picture about it. So now, are they only bringing him back as some kind of AI character or a flashback or a dream? Possibly. And honestly, that is the most logical way to go about this. The technology that me and all of you have access to in the real world is the same tech a Ghostface killer is going to have in this next movie. So it's extremely plausible. But would it actually be that far-fetched to bring him back alive and well as the actual Ghostface? Because we all know he was stabbed multiple times.
Stop it, Billy, would you, all right?
And he was electrocuted. And guess what? He's fine. And that's my ridiculous theory. And I would be, sitting in that theater with my head exploding if that's what it came down to. I think it would be really, really cool. Let me know what you guys think.